Now here the question is, we are given this function fx, which is e to the power x when x lies between 0 and 1. It is 2 minus e to the power x minus 1 when x lies between 1 and 2, and it is x minus e when x lies between 2 and 3. Now if we look at this function fx and if we draw its graph, then between 0 and 1 it is e to the power x, that is at 0 this value is 1 and at 1 this value is simply e. So that is the graph of e to the power x when x lies between 0 and 1. Now between 1 and 2 it is a decreasing function. So at 1 this value is 2, and then at 2 this value is 2 minus e, which is a negative value. So this value is 2 minus e, and then at 2 this is a straight line from 2 minus e to 3 minus e. So this is 2 minus e to the power x minus 1, and this is x minus e. Now it says we have defined a function gx, which is this integral from 0 to x ft dt. So we'll write this gx as this integral from 0 to x ft dt when x belongs to 1 to 3. Now we need to find maxima and minima for this function gx. So for that we'll find g dash x. Now g dash x will be simply fx, and we have to find critical points of fx. So first we'll find those points at which fx is 0. So this fx is 0 at these 2 points. Now for this point we'll put 2 minus e to the power x minus 1 equals 0. Then e to the power x minus 1 equals 2. Then x is 1 plus log 2. And the second point is x minus e equals 0. That is when the value of x is e. So we have two critical points, x equals 1 plus log 2 and x equals e, at which we have g dash x as 0. Now when x is 1 plus log 2, this function fx, it changes sign from positive to negative. So there is a sign change from positive to negative, that is the function increases and then decreases. So that means 1 plus log 2, it is a point of local maxima. Now what about x equals e? At x equals e, it was negative before and it was positive thereafter. Sign of g dash x, it changes from negative to positive, that is first decreasing and then increasing. So that means this x equal to e, it is a point of local minima. So one of the option is local maxima at 1 plus log 2 and local minima at x equals e, and that's your option A. So that means option C and D, they're incorrect. Now what about option B? It says local maxima at 1 and local minima at x equals 2. So in addition to the points where fx equals 0, we need to find points where this function gx is not differentiable. Gx is not differentiable at x equal to 1. Because at x equals to 1, this function fx, it is discontinuous. But at x equal to 2, this function fx, it is continuous, and therefore gx is differentiable at x equals 2. So that means it's option B, it is also incorrect because it cannot have a local minima at x equals 2. Now what about x equals 1? Now if we look at x equals 1, then g dash 1 negative, that is just before 1, it is greater than 0, and g dash just after 1 again is greater than 0. That means there is no sign change at x equal to 1. So therefore x equal to 1 is not a point of local maxima. So this option B is also incorrect. So the only correct option in this case is option A, that is local maxima at x equals 1 plus log 2 and local minima at x equals e.